Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well today. So the other day I was walking down the street and I got to thinking about when I used to like work a day job and stuff. Uh, and I was just collecting that paycheck, right? I was just showing up for work so that I could get that paycheck at the end of the week or whatever. And it got me to thinking about how like everyone kind of does that, okay? Like it's very much a pattern that we're used to, just to live life a bit safer and just make like a steady amount that we can rely on, rather than taking a little bit of a risk and making a hell of a lot more, you know? And it got me to thinking about how life is pretty much like it's that, but on a larger scale, right? It's a pattern, it's a cycle, and so the business isn't really any different. And I got to thinking about that, and I basically came up with an eight-step pattern for success in the business, right? And so step one is it starts with a dream. It starts with a destination, okay? So if you think about where you are as like your origin, where you start, where you want to end up in the future is going to be your destination, right? And that's the dream, okay? But we need to kind of make the dream real, okay? And the only way to make the dream real is by putting pressure on it, basically. So you kind of want to make it a goal by putting time constraints, right? So say one of you guys want to be a millionaire, right? That's a dream. But if you say I want to be a millionaire in 2 years, that becomes a goal, right? And when you have a goal, you need to start coming up with like a pathway of how you're going to get there. And your upline will help you with that. But that is like that. That's how you make a dream transition into a goal, and that's how it becomes real. Okay. And you can work on your dream like every day, right? Um, and they will all eventually become goals, and working on it every day just by writing it down, having it with you, stuff like that, that's going to make it more real, and you're going to envision yourself like getting there, and it's going to make it more likely that you get there. Okay. So a few like hints to help make the dream more real for you. So take for example, you want to buy like a nice car, right? So say you want like a Lamborghini. If you go to a dealership, you will have to dress nice so they let you in and test drive it and stuff. But if you go to a dealership and you like sit in the car, you smell the leather, you feel the steering, you feel the roar of the engine, right? That's gonna make the dream a lot more real for you, right? Because now you know what it feels like. Now you have that emotional connection. That it's kind of like an investment, right? In the dream. And so making it real, it's gonna drive your interest in and your ambition in getting there. Okay. Um, so after the dream and the goal, you've got commitment, right? You've got work ethic. So that's doing all the nitty gritty stuff. That's doing the work, right? Um, and your upline kind of takes care of a lot of that for you, in that they'll direct you. They won't do the work for you, but they'll direct you, okay? So they take out all the guesswork, all the, oh, what should I do now? Do I say this? Do I say that? They take out all of that for you and they tell you what to do, all right? And all you have to do is actually do the work, okay? So like listening to CDs, going to meetings, showing plans, all of that type of stuff, that is the commitment part, right? And that's the second step. So the third step is creating a written list. So you kind of got three lists when you first start, right? So you've got close friends and family, right? Then you got acquaintances, and then your third list is people you haven't met yet, right? So those are people you're going to. It's called contacting. Those are people you're going to make, befriend, and hopefully sign up in the business. Otherwise, you've got a great friend, anyways, right? Um, so you want to establish a written list, okay? So you're basically trying to get a sit down to show a plan off your list. Okay, so when you're on the phone, you don't want to explain everything, right? They'll try to get you to. They'll try to get you to say what it is and stuff. But basically, you're just like, man, I'm sorry, like I can't explain it over the phone. It'd be like describing like a photo, right? Like, are you able to sit down sometimes? And then you always finish with, you might be interested, you might not, right? Because you've got the cookie, okay? You've got the opportunity that's going to help them, right? It just helps you to help them, but you can't give up your posture, right? You can't let them know that it's of your interest because it's of their interest too, right? Like it's a cookie. You've got the opportunity, okay? Um, and you need to kind of keep that dynamic because as I mentioned earlier, it's it's like you want to invoke like a kind of leader follower relationship, right? So in order to keep that power, you need to maintain your posture, and that's done through a lot of subtleties. Okay, a lot of like things that people don't necessarily think about, but it's like subconscious stuff, right? So another example of that is like if they show up when they show up to the plan, right? So you've done an invite and they show up to the plan. Don't say thank you, right? Because that means that they're doing you the favor, okay? And they might not consciously register that, but they'll definitely subconsciously register it, and they'll be like, yeah, you're welcome. I did you a favor, right? But no, you've done them the favor. You've extended this opportunity to them, and it's up to them if they're smart enough to take it, basically. Do you know what I mean? And you only want the invite to go for about 60 seconds, right? And if you ever get the, I'll have to talk to my wife and get back to you. If you ever get the, I'll get back to you thing, just, you don't want to leave it like that, basically. Because that means that if you call them, you're chasing them, right? So you kind of lose posture in that respect if they're not expecting you to call and you're calling them up about an opportunity you've got for them, they're kind of like, well, that doesn't really make sense. Why are you chasing me up about something you're doing for me, right? So if you ever get the, I'll have to talk to my wife and get back to you, all you have to say is, well, I'm pretty hard to reach, so you try to get through to me, I'll try to get through to you, and I'm sure between the both of us, we'll get a connection soon. And just leaving it like that, that means when you call, you're not going to be chasing them, right? They'll be somewhat expecting that call. And it's kind of like the subtleties like that, like I was mentioning earlier, right? And if there's anything I've learned in building the business, it's the business is won or lost on the subtleties, right? So you can see how what I just explained with the I'll have to talk to my wife and get back to you, doing it my way makes a world of difference in posture and the power dynamic, right? And ultimately that's responsible for being able to create that leader-follower dynamic, okay? So yeah, don't say thank you. And yeah, when you're first showing the plan to people, be it off that third list of the people you haven't met yet, or if it's off like people you do know, 25% of the people are going to get in, roughly. And that's when you first started, right? And if it's lower than that, you've either got the wrong attitude, you're not like excited enough about the opportunity that you do have, or you're just talking to the wrong people, right? And so you need to reassess the type of people you are talking to. If it's people that are on that third list, the people you haven't met yet, you need to think about where you're doing your contacting. Because some people, all types of people are looking, but some types of people are less likely to be looking, right? So that can affect that 25%. Do you understand what I mean? So yeah, when showing the plan, you don't ask, this is like one of the golden rules. When showing the plan, you don't ask what they think of it, right? Because they might tell you. Do you know what I mean? Because if you're skeptical, like a lot of people are when they first see the plan, they'll be like, well, like, I'm not really sure. It seems a bit, like, weird. Like, it's a very good opportunity, so why aren't more people doing it? You know, like that type of skepticism. So they might actually tell you what you think if you ask them what they think, right? But you can kind of get around that by leading them into the question. So you ask a leading question. So it's like, so you've just finished showing the plan, and you're just like, so what do you think? It's pretty good, huh? And then they're more inclined to agree with you, right? And by getting them to say the words, if they don't necessarily think it, it moves it along, and it puts that idea into their mind that it is a good idea, basically. So yeah, a little bit onto contacting, right? So that's that third list of people that I mentioned earlier. So yeah, those are the people you haven't met yet, the people you want to make friends with and hopefully get them into the business, right? And a lot of people have a lot of fear around this because it can be like a bit of a weird subject for some people to just walk up and make a new friend, right? But it's extremely natural. If you think about like 4-year-olds and stuff, they're not like they wouldn't stand in like a line like we do and just awkwardly stand there, just go on like a smartphone, something like that. Do you know what I mean? They wouldn't avoid social interaction. They would be making friends all the time, right? You see them in like primary school, they'll walk up to a stranger and be like, hey, can I play with that? And then the kid will be like, yeah, sure. And then they'll be friends. Do you know what I mean? And so it's almost weird that we've got this conception that it's weird. Do you know what I mean? And so another way of kind of getting around the fear thing is if you couldn't fail, right? If everyone you spoke to was going to say yes and get into the business with you, who would you contact, right? And the answer is successful people generally, okay? Because they're the ones that have proven themselves in a similar arena, maybe, sorry, in the arena of life, right? They've proven that they're driven and they're able to make a difference, all right? And it's actually the same. So obviously not everyone's going to say yes, but you still go for the successful people, right? Because they're successful because they can take advantage, they can recognize and take advantage of an opportunity. And that is what this is. It's a genuine opportunity to help them. And a successful person, a smart person, an ambitious person is going to see that, they're going to take advantage of it, and they're going to make the most of it, right? And the worst case is they say no, right? And like that is literally the worst thing that can happen. They'll be like, "No, sorry, I'm not interested. I'm busy, whatever it may be." And you just don't lose your head with that, all right? Because people are going to say no. People are going to say yes. You're gonna get more no's than yeses. And the important thing is that you leave the door open, okay? You never want to be like, "Well, I didn't want you anyway," or anything like that, okay? You want to be like, "That's all right, man. Well, call me if you change your mind," right? You want to leave the door open for them, okay? Um, so that's about the end of the video. Some last thoughts is just like, just don't quit, okay? Because 90% of people don't have any idea what they've got with their business when they first come into it, right? And so by not quitting, you just ensure that you stay around the business until you're able to recognize what you've actually got and the opportunity you have, okay? Because it is one hell of an opportunity, right? The freedom and the lifestyle that can come from working the business it's incredible, okay? It is insane. So yeah, that is everything for today, guys. I hope you have a good day. Bye.